Alright, we are here with Nissa, Ascendant Animist. I like the idea of doing literally nothing but playing lands repeatedly. Green seems to be really good at that, right? And then, with all the things that you used to, like, ramp yourself, are now suddenly just Craterhoof targets, right? Like, your Llanowar Elves is done doing its thing, and then now it's just like a 12-12 that kills your opponent in one shot. It seems kind of cool. I like the idea of doing this. A little weak to counter spells. I know you have, like, a Boreal, not Boreal Grazer, Delighted Halfling can get around it, and Allosaurus Shepherd can get around it. You don't even need that many forests, really. You could just sort of probably have like 5. If you have like 4 creatures, that's already kind of nuts. I'm running a lot of creatures. Precursor Golem's a goofy one, but it is a 5-mana 9/9, sort of. It gives you 3 bodies, which is what I really like. If any of them die, they all die is the downside, so it is still essentially 1 creature. But it's 3 bodies, so it triples on the Nissa, and that seems kind of cool. Obviously, still have the main Craterhoof there, but Craterhoof in the command zone seems kind of funny. I haven't really seen anyone do this before, at least I can't really remember. We are running a lot of creatures, or at least way more than I usually run. It's 35, so slightly over a third of the deck is creatures. Again, you don't need that many in play at the same time. Anything that creates tokens that's reasonable, I think, is worth running, like Scute Swarm, Nantaku. There's Spore Mound, which makes 1/1s. It's the same thing as this, but Spore Mound is on a 3/3 body. I don't really... It makes 1/1s instead of 2/2s, but that doesn't matter for Nissa. I don't know. I still don't even really like Royal. This usually ends up coming out of a lot of decks I make. But maybe if I just stick to my guns and just refuse to take it out, it might win me a game or something, making like 3 2/2s. Now suddenly the massive overrun is just exponentially more frightening. I like the idea of that. So, a lot of creatures, a lot of ramp, even my least favorite card ever, Emergent Sequence, because it's a ramp spell and a creature. I still despise this card. I think it's a trap, but I don't know. Sometimes they don't kill the land, I guess. You know, it's kind of like the same as a Mana Dork on 2, right? It's sort of functionally identical. It's not that big of a deal if it dies just as a normal Mana Dork would die, really. So it's not that bad. And the benefit of just being a forest. So it's just +1/+1 to the ultimate. It's really cool that you can ultimate this to turn you cast it. I suspect there's a lot of games where that might happen. I also suspect a lot of games where I might cast this at 5 mana and then just kind of take it up a couple times. Right? It completely annihilates any artifact or enchantment strategy, or to a degree, which is also an added benefit. But yeah, that's it. Just ramp a bunch of lands, make a few creatures, don't need that many at the same time, and then just knock your opponent clean off the stage there. So, right, send it. Like, comment, subscribe. Seems kind of neat. Blooming Marsh Deathrite Shaman. Okay. I don't know what the mistake was, but opponent feels like they made a mistake. Oh, they said... I guess they said good game instead of hello. That's why they said oops. That's funny. Alright, well, we got 2 creatures already. Next turn, I suppose map the frontier. I don't have to get the big desert that taps for 2, but I probably will. I could probably do with 1 less forest. I think it'll be fine. They need a fetch land for the Deathrite Shaman to actually matter. They do not have one. If they do have a fetch land now, their mana just completely explodes. I have nothing to do... Well, I could do this to kill one of these. I'm just going to ignore my opponent. That's what I signed up for, so... We're going to go ahead and just completely ignore him. And I guess I'm going to get the Archway. I could pick up Kalani Garden. Yeah, why not? I have an untapped land for next turn anyways. And more tokens, more betterer. This does also generate large tokens, right? And it's not really ever that bad of a feeling to recast this if it dies. Honestly, even a few times, because you're basically a green deck. I mean, you are literally a green deck, not basically. Yeah, this is not an ideal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can put this on 7 and then just make large, scary things. Can I play both of these? Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll have 6 mana. I can actually play both. My opponent has a 0 mana card here, and I don't really know what it is. I really have no idea what it could be. Like, I can't even begin to imagine. I don't know. So, this would be for 6. And I make a 7/7. Oh, excuse me, a 6/6. Is it like Pact of Slaughter Pact or whatever? I don't know what costs 0 in Jund. Is Slaughter Pact in the game? I don't think it is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. I'd have lethal next turn if I had this at 7 loyalty. I think it's better to just play it though. Like, this is a thing that exists. It's not just a incidental thing. I do have something sitting there, and it does matter. My opponent just has a lot of things to take care of here. They don't have Casualties of War mana. For a deck that can run 9 fetch lands, it's kind of nuts that they don't have any. It's kind of crazy. There we go. This allows them to attack with their commander, which does what? Each of your turns, play a land. Okay, they're swinging at the other Nissa. That is nowhere close to killing Nissa. I do not care. Valky eats simply this, and then doesn't do anything else. Archdruid's Charm can find a whole bunch of different things, really. Scute Swarm might be the best. I don't have Ulamog in here. Don't feel like it's part of the game plan. Maybe you could run it, though. There's no reason you couldn't. It is Ulamog, after all. It is, in fact, Ulamog. Alright, let's just start with this so I don't have to think about things. Yeah, let me go to my turn, so if they kill one of my Menadorks now, it's not gonna wind up being the most ideal of decisions. Would have wanted to kill it on their own turn. So, let's play this and find... I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have all the mana in the world. I could cast this, but is it lethal? These are tapped, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'd swing with just these two and Craterhoof. I don't think that's lethal. I feel like playing something like this is just better right now. Because again, Nissa exists still, and my opponent hasn't dealt with it. This is fine. And I have a massive board, so they can't really swing too well. I don't have to get fetch lands. I can just get this and that. This is not a forest, but it is another attacker. I think that's fine. Let's play you. And I don't have to play this right now. And I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to tap anymore. I will swing with these two. Don't really care what my opponent does. So if they kill... They'll basically have to kill like both Nissas to do something about this. But let's see, 5. Because these wouldn't be here. I'm not sure if Craterhoof was lethal there. I'm not actually sure. I genuinely could not tell you. But I think this... I think my opponent needs insanity to not lose anyways. So I'm just gonna... Like, I don't even think Crux of Fate saves my opponent. Flare of Malice. Ah, that was the 0 mana card. I see. So there goes the Primeval Titan? Yeah, alright. So there's not really... Oh, wait, I choose... It's an Edict. It's not a spot removal spell, right? Highest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers. I believe the mana value is this. But, again, once that dies, I can just recast it at the full 9 next turn. And then they're just dead, so... It was probably right Unless that Craterhoof was actually lethal last turn, which I don't think it was. I think it was maybe very close, and they might have died anyways. Nadu, alright. Well, Nadu can do a bunch of nonsense, but unless it, like, interacts with my, like, sort of ramp thing, I might be fine. Feel like I might need a 1-drop, though. Do I mulligan for a 1-drop? I think it's, like, so crucial that I have a 1-drop that if I don't get one, I probably just concede. Okay, I did find one. So you can go, and you can go. Alright. I think this is literally more important than anything else I could possibly do against Nadu. Especially if they have one. Okay, they do not have one. Could be wrong, but this just winds up feeling very good. Alright, that's interesting. Oh, this entered tapped. So I guess they did have one, they just couldn't play it. Looks like they have a 1-mana protection spell. I will go get the actual desert here. And, yeah, all it is a forest. Okay, so Nissa doesn't do too well against Nadu once Nadu's in play and swinging, but maybe that's not the worst. I do make tokens that are significantly larger than Nadu will ever be. Yeah, I know you have a blue spell. I don't really care, though. That's not very relevant. What is relevant is a counter spell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to play this at 7 and then concede if they have Spell Pierce. Not really sure what there is to think about. Okay, opponent figured it out. Let's plus. These tokens are massive, and they don't really run bounce spells, and not really any removal spells. I might actually just be able to ignore Nadu and swing past it. That has to go face to draw the card. Which means they're ignoring Nissa, which means Nissa gets to ultimate. Alright, yeah, they probably have to do this. Makes sense to me. Probably just play that as a creature. I'm not interested in minusing on the Curious Obsession. I could just play this as, like, forests, actually. Maybe that's just better. I'm not going to swing with a 1-1. If they pump the Grazer, I'd rather not lose my 1-1. I can repeatedly cast Nissa, which is nice. They draw 2, then they discard 1. Okay. Guess it's a good thing I swung first? I actually don't know. Don't know how I feel about that. But I probably will make forests here. I don't know if another body is getting me anywhere. They packed this? That's insane. Whoa. Alright, I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's what my opponent did. They packed of negationed my rampant growth. That's nuts. Okay. No land, please. Okay. Mana drain. Well, they're well past that mattering. I lose Nissa, but yep, we did it. If they kill Nissa, can I recast it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a land here 8, and then 9. I can literally recast this, and then I'll have 5 forests in play. So these will be 10 and 13. 5. Yeah, this can't swing. Yep, look at that. We can just ignore Nadu. They can't kill it. They can't kill it because then they just get hosed. And now that they can't, I can probably start blowing up their enchantments and stuff, right? And wow, look at that. This is actually doing stuff against what is one of the better commanders in the game. This one's safer. Look at this one. So play you and this, I think. No, nothing else to do. Don't know if my commander's fast enough, although large tokens and a bunch of random blockers might be useful. kind of hoping they were going to block. Alright, so we can put this on... Well, I guess we could put it on anything. Gilded Goose is funny. Let's just put it here. That way I don't have to, like, worry about anything. And I can do it again. I guess I will. It uses the goose token, but it turns the goose into something that's more permanent, like mana-wise, if I lost the food or something. I can only tap this once until I spend more mana into it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures, and enough mana to put this at max loyalty. I feel like playing this is slightly better, just to have a large, annoying thing. But I mean, it's all just big and annoying, and they don't have a lot of creatures currently, so... I think I'm slightly favored right now. 1, 2, 3, plus 4. So, like this. I'm not going to target my own graveyard, just target that twice. Yeah, we're just going to plus it. It's obviously not even close to being lethal. I do not have the means to copy anything, so I'll just make a sapperling. Alright, well, you got to do something about this right now. And I will double block, so it needs to be like Omega Trample nonsense. And if you don't, you just die. Alright, well, now I think my opponent is just dead. Why not? I'll make one more. Alright. Nice. Look at that. Sweet. No, not much they could do. I think they had to swing. I don't know why they didn't. I have no idea what the remaining cards are. It's a little rough, but that's kind of funny. Look at that. It's just, we're kind of doing the same thing, right? They make a wide board and then they pump this and like it all just gets giant and scary at the same time, just like mine. But I guess they need a little bit more to get going than we do. That is unusual. Let's play this one, because there's a solid chance it taps for 2 sooner rather than later. I don't know. Palladium Mirror. Would love to blow that up. Could have played the 2-1 to maybe stop them from attacking me, but I highly doubt that will wind up mattering. They did successfully get Ujin into play before I would get my commander in play. Oh, it's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm too concerned about that. I'm kind of surprised to see this, actually. Probably absolutely have to deal with that, so let's play land, and then do this for 6. And then do this. Artifact control, spent non-artifact spells. Okay, let's blow this up then. They can't spend this on Ujin. This is a creature deck. This is not just Ujin only. It's kind of cool, I guess. Don't know what the long run of this game plan looks like, but currently I am not winning. Let's play this again. Can I do it like this? Nope. 5, 6, 7, 8. But now Ujin just wins, so I don't actually know what to do. I actually don't know what to do here. Yeah, I think this is game. Okay, yep. Well, like I said, they just always have Forsaken Monument. You can't stop it. It's just perfect Forsaken Monument every single Colorless game. Why not? Thought this was going to be an auto win, but clearly I was wrong. Silly me. Look at that. What a surprise. The best card in your entire deck. 6 ways over. Because you played a black spell in your Colorless deck. Well, I don't know why they did that, but okay. Seven, 8. So this doesn't actually find anything. I guess I just have to find Hornet Queen. Don't really know what else makes me not immediately dead, so... Ujin doesn't kill me either. Nothing has trample. Or we can just find Emrakul. That works too. Emrakul doesn't win the game though. They can't tap me off of my creatures either. And they can't kill one with a block. I have no idea why they're playing this, but alright. Doesn't seem like that kind of deck. Okay. Seven, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7. Is my opponent dead in the air? No way, right? The other 2 cards don't do anything, so... I don't think my opponent's dead, but... They're dead. They go to 1! They go to 1! No way! They go to 1! Oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? I don't know how to read. I'm an idiot. I don't know how to read or count. Oh. Okay. I don't know why I thought my opponent was going to 1. I'm sorry. The death touch on the blocker means I only have to assign 1 damage here, and the rest on that token can kill their opponent. Can go over and kill them. That's why that happened. Death touch and trample, you only have to assign lethal damage. 1 damage is lethal when it's death touch, and then the remaining 14 toughness is ignored on Emrakul. Wow, what an insane game. I thought it was a free game, that it was not going to require thinking, and then they wound up doing some crazy stuff. I kind of fell behind, and they even had Forsaken Monument. I tell you, every time I know they tutored for it this time, but of course they did, right? Like, every time I play against a colorless deck, they have this. And then when they don't have it, they just randomly generate Demonic Tutor, and then they have it. Like, I just... whatever. It's just annoying, but... Wow. We actually beat it. We never answered this patchwork, and it hit me for like 30. That's... what a crazy, crazy game. Oh, it's an Ulamog player. Oh, boy. Well, I haven't seen this deck win ever, so maybe it will this time. This hand's a little awkward. It does need a land, and it needs it really bad, and I don't want to lose because I don't draw it, so I'm just going to not keep it. I wonder if I find a land off this right now. Well, I mean, I'm always playing this on 1, so I guess not. Next turn, Haro this. Just autoplay, please. then Circuitous Route. And then I'm 1 off of 8 evidence. Okay. It's not too bad. Solar Transformer. Interesting. Four, 5, 6, 7. Do I play Nissa next turn? I might actually play Nissa next turn. It'd be nice to blow up the Solar Transformer. Oh, I guess it's not that crucial. Oh. Okay. So, it'd be for 5? I think I actually now want to land, because I do have Tooth and Nail anyways. Let's just get a land here. They could have Pact the Negation, that'd be funny. Don't know if I care about that too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this on 5 and kill the Solar Transformer. It could jack them up pretty bad. I think this is fine. Famous last words. But if these had, like, power, I wouldn't probably do that. But they don't have power. They're just treasure tokens. It takes them off of double blue as well. I think that's it. And there's no white so far. Might not be any white in the deck. And if they ever kill Nissa, well, maybe I just get to an ultimate faster later with it or something. Wish I could kill this. Okay, so this does not make a large enough creature for this, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just going to play our stuff and then hope my opponent doesn't have something extremely degenerate to go with all of their stuff here. I almost want to make a food. I think I want to cast this once I have a 4-power creature. But I could simply cast it now. I don't know if one additional land is really going to change that much. There's not many Eldrazi my opponent could really, there's almost nothing they could do this turn with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, with the land they kind of can. Alright, they found something to do. It's not too big of a deal. It's just drawing 4 cards that don't stay in play or anything. Alright, well, next turn they'll have a bunch of stuff to do, I'm sure. Let's see, if I cast this now, we're just going to do this, because it gives me 1 mana, and this would just give me 2, and I can wait for 3. This taps for 2 now, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I already have 9, actually. Is my opponent just dead? Are they just dead to a Craterhoof? I have 9 mana, right? No, but these have to tap, so they don't swing. Yeah, I think my opponent's going to get their... They're going to get their turn here. I'm just going to do this. Again, they don't have that much mana to do anything crazy next turn. They really just don't. I don't care how much mana they have. Like, you'll have to really impress me. And this just definitively kills them next turn. We drew the card that has no text, because I forgot to add Snowlands. Oh no, forgot to add Snowlands, dude. Forgot to add my Snowlands. Tragic. Well, at least it doesn't matter. Be a shame if it did, though. Yeah, we'll add them next game. If I remember. I hate this card so much. I really don't like this card. Just take it out of the game and give us Rampant Growth, please. Just take it out of the game. Alright, well, you need, I guess, a counter spell, which is totally possible. It is a possibility. Do you have a counter spell? You did just draw 4 cards. Of course we do, and not only do you have a counter spell, it is literally the best card of all time in your deck, so now I just basically lose the game. Fun. Alright, well, I'm going to take you off of all your colors, or freedom of complete color, so I don't just lose that way. I think this game is totally over. Not sure what I can possibly do now. Opponent just generated 7 colorless mana off of whatever. They played something 10 times better than Dark Ritual. Okay, that is not what I expected. At all, actually. That doesn't matter. Okay, that could have been categorically worse. I almost want Nissa to die, so I'll let them hit it, and then minus kill the portal, and then just recast it at a lot more loyalty. Oh, look at that. I'll Kenris Transformation Golos, I guess. There's not really anything else to do. Actually, that's not true at all. What am I talking about? This is not lethal. We'll just blow this up. This is fine. I do not hate this situation. Making this a 3-3 is awkward to tap both my creatures. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Although maybe I should. Maybe I should. It just shuts down their commander so they can't double up degenerate nonsense. I don't know. It smacks Nissa, but alright. That's fine. I can just recast it at full loyalty with a card like this. And I drew one, so... If they tap off of the archive, I almost want to blow it up. They did not discard their hand. Really makes me want to blow that up. Let's see what's under this. Mythweaver Pock. That is a very good card right now. Yep, we're going to blow up the Hedron Archive. We're going to play Pock. And I think I will just run this out. The 1/1 counters don't really matter. I'm just going to run this out. I know I get more mana later, but I really don't need more mana. I do not need more mana. Mystic Forge. Okay, well, that can do some crazy stuff right now. Okay, looks like it will not. You do... No, 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 no! Oh, opponent. Oh, my opponent just... Yeah, my opponent just committed Sudoku. They just committed Sudoku there. That's tragic. Unless they have Pact the Negation. I guess. Yeah, they were not supposed to swing there. No, they weren't dead anyways at all, because Nissa would be alive and it's not at full loyalty. They just completely killed themselves, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, that's what they just did. They swung and killed Nissa, which means I could recast it at full loyalty. And somehow taking 10 years to play cards still, even though you're winning 6 ways to Sunday. What is this? Oh, okay. I didn't even look at it. Sure. I have some non-basics, but not a lot. So, it's probably a while till this restoration does anything. I'm just going to cast this. This is just better here, in my opinion. I mean, if it was Haro, it would be amazing, but it is not. I will probably play Nissa on 5, because my opponent's only on their 2nd turn. And they don't have any 2-drop, so... Yeah, I think I'm going to play this on turn... next turn. Because if I don't, I'm waiting, and if I'm waiting, I'm not too excited about what I'm actually waiting for. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind, never mind. At least I had something else to do, so... You can do it. Come on. Just click the name. It's in the list. It always gives you the name in the list. You don't have to type it in. There you go. Four, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I actually have to pay life here. Oh, never mind. So tap like this. 2, 3, 4. And then use the floating green, because that won't double. Okay, that's a really good draw. That was a really, 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 really good draw, actually. Let's untap you, because I hate snowlands. And play this. It has to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Can I do it like this? Or does that mess up the Curse of Silence? Okay, it doesn't. They absolutely have to sacrifice it now, too, so it won't just stay in play. Fortunately. Alright, yep. We're just super, super far ahead. My opponent doesn't have free attacks with their Glissa anymore. I mean, I probably will just chump block this with the Lotus Cobra. but I did this stuff so quickly. Like, my opponent's on turn... They're going into their, what, 4th turn? Like, look at the difference. Look at the difference. I just had a 1-drop and ramped, and they didn't. And now they're just... if they commit their commander next turn, I'm just pulling further and further ahead every turn cycle, right? Like, their commander's not... It's just not fast enough at this point. Yeah, just green. Just green. That's why rampant growth is time walk. Like, you're just gonna pull ahead and they can't do anything. You're just gonna pull ahead. It's like I played the slowest Ragavan of all time, which still proceeded to win the game. Okay, now this, I would love a 1-drop. On the draw against a control deck, the rest of the hand isn't bad, but I don't know if I have time to just, like, turn 1, turn 2, whatever. I mean, let's find out. I can technically top deck something as well. Alright, looks like I'm just losing my mana dork instead. Works too. I guess it's a good thing I didn't mindlessly mulligan. Wish I had, like, 1 Surveil land. Monocolored Surveil lands would be nice. But my opponent was wise beyond their years, taking out my mana, because that is literally time walking people. I'm just going to play this, that's fine. Probably, now that my opener has been disrupted, I'm probably losing. Yeah. That's probably all there is to it, really. I don't know if I'm winning from here. I think I'll get rid of the Golem. It's probably worse than everything else. That was just a terrible, terrible, terrible draw. It was an absolutely terrible draw. I needed to not draw a land so I could play the Cultivator. It was the worst thing I could have drawn was a land there. Yep, that was just unbelievably bad to draw a land there. Unbelievably bad. As long as they play a land every turn, it looks like they might run out of gas. I don't know. Okay, that surprisingly isn't a big deal. There's a lot of terrible things in my deck to hit off of that, so I'm not too concerned about that. I think I'm just going to play Primeval Titan. Am I? I feel like maybe that's a very stupid idea. What if I just played this? And it's just said, congratulations, if you kill it, I lose. I'm going to blow this up so they don't have that. That's all there is to that. I'm blowing it up so they don't have it. Where's perfect answer? Why not? Can't play additional things. Just... Okay. A manland is very good against opponent's deck here. And that's fine. Or at least it feels like it would be. I don't know, maybe it won't. They do have just a blind Tasha that can just win the game. But I don't think it will. Again, there's a lot of bad hits, but there's a lot of decent hits too. Yeah, okay, they didn't really hit anything. Bristly Bill is a big deal for me. It's not really going to make my opponent race into any kind of win, though. It does stop me from hitting their Nicol Bolas, though. Opponent chooses not to cast Nicol Bolas. That is completely insane to me, and I do not in any way agree with that idea. What do I do now? Play this, make a token. What does this do? 7 damage to target opponent. Okay, so it doesn't just straight up kill this. I really feel like I should play this, though, because Nicol Bolas doesn't do a very good job at dealing with it. Okay, I don't hate this. And I can still actually swing with Primeval Titan, too. Alright, yeah, we're in a really good spot. in a really good spot here. Skewed Swarm, like, my opponent has no cards in hand, and they will get no help from my deck. Xanathar is not going to steal anything that matters, except, I guess, technically Craterhoof. That is technically a thing that could happen. But they would need a land. They would need a land. So, like, untapped lands, literally Craterhoof or something like that. Okay, they played a forest off the top of my deck. You got it. And appears to be the only thing my opponent does. I will not shuffle my deck with the this card until my end step. Okay, they found a Nissa, which does only have one forest, but it can untap any land. Yeah, it doesn't have to untap a forest. They're almost just dead without Nissa. Actually, they are dead without Nissa because of the fetch lands. Right? Well, only one of them is untapped, so that's not true. 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay. There's like 2 instants in my deck. I'm just going to fetch if they find it on top in their end phase. Congratulations, I guess. It's not very likely. Can I crack this Seek land right now? Is it 4? 1, 2, 3? No, I can't crack the Seek land. Tragic. No big deal, though. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this probably won't kill us. And if my opponent is playing a land every turn, they're going to run out of cards because Grixis kind of just does that 1-for-1 thing and then like stabilizes with something. But Tasha didn't scam win me, scam kill me. Okay, so I really like this commander. There were games where people killed it, and then because they killed it, they just gave me a Craterhoof Behemoth that costs 9 mana in the graveyard, or from the command zone. Like, if it's stuck at 3 loyalty, they just accidentally killed it, and then they lost because I had a bunch of stuff in play. That can happen, so people have to be aware of that. And then, sometimes you can just play it on 5 or 6. Everything I said I was going to do with it, I wound up doing it. The -1 was extremely useful every time I used it, which is really nice. I like that. Sometimes it's not worth blowing anything up, right? And I just ended up making a token, but there was a lot of strategies where just spamming Naturalize is backbreaking. It's not the fastest to do that, but it is pretty fast. And if they're extremely linear or like super heavy on artifacts, you can just completely annihilate them, which is really cool. All of the creatures felt fine. It feels awkward for people to kill some of these creatures, so they just sort of sit there. Who's ever going to kill like a Kalani Garden token, right? Are you going to kill a Sylvan Safekeeper? Well, this one maybe, because it gives Shroud to stuff or whatever. Are you going to kill a Kami of the Bamboo Groves? No. Are you going to kill a Grazer? No, right? You don't really like to kill Simulacrum. And these things just sit there. Springbloom Druid, it just sits there. Fierce Empath, it just sits there. Like, it's just a 1/1, and it's all innocent. And all of a sudden, I cast my commander, and then it kills you. So it puts people in a weird position where if they don't have board wipes, you kind of want to keep me off the board with all of my creatures. You don't want anything to be sitting in play. It's just going to be a huge problem. So that is pretty cool. I do like that. I never had a game where like I popped the ultimate and then sacked all my lands to give them Shroud. That's kind of one of the reasons I put this in here. It's also just like kind of a 1/1 that cares about the bottom of this. But it would have been interesting to see a game where I, +10/+10, swing all out. They have like 3 removal spells, but I just sacrifice a forest to make it so they can't do that. That would have been funny, but it never came up. There were not really... I don't think there were... I'm trying to think. Yeah, there wasn't really any scenario where Defense of the Heart felt like a 4-minute tooth and nail. And that kind of feels like it's happening more than I thought it would. Not a lot of people play a... Well, that's not true, actually. The vast majority of people are playing creature-centric decks. But there were not really... There were no scenarios where this felt like I had just this in hand. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to cast this because they have a bunch of creatures. It just never felt like that was the case. You could say if your opponent has like 3 or more creatures in play or whatever, they're probably scary enough that they're killing you, that like this might just be too slow or something, but that's not necessarily true. I think it might just be like anecdotal or something. I think this is still worth running. You could pin people behind just only having 2 creatures in play, Or you could just not cast it till they have more and then, you know, surprise them with it or something. But I've just been a little unlucky with this card, I think. But it could certainly come out. It could come out. But you are a mono green deck, and you are doing a ramp thing, but instead of like going tall with Pock, you want to go wide with random stuff with Nissa. And I think I prefer this strategy over Pock. There's just more to do, right? There's just more to do, and that's pretty cool. I mean, you could put Pock in the deck. Same with Bristly Bill. You could just put Bristly Bill in the command zone and kind of have a similar deck, although you probably want like a Zuza and other additional land things, but even more lands than that. The big green package was fine. Kogla, I don't even know how many games Kogla would have been very good, honestly. I really don't. And I'm trying to think of like games where I'd have 6 mana and I'm willing to cast Kogla to like kill something and then hope I untap to naturalize spam with the attacks on it. Like, I don't know. Kogla's a weird one to me. But you could absolutely run Eldrazi, and you can absolutely run like 3 wastes or colorless lands. I did start the list with colorless lands and elemental blast and other stuff like that. I think monocolored decks can pretty freely play the true colorless kind of things, especially green. You can just find your wastes. So you can absolutely put like mid-range Eldrazi, like Thought-Knot Seer or whatever the other Thought-Knot Seer is. The green one that targets something in play instead of in hand, does the same thing essentially. You could run true colorless cards, and there are some that are reasonable to run, and I wouldn't feel bad about any of them. Even Emrakul. I know like when Emrakul dies, you lose your entire board, and then you kind of lose your Nissa ultimate, but your opponent has to do that. It's not just you cast Emrakul and then you lose when it blows up. They have to like answer it, and then they still have to proceed to win. I think we had a game where we beat the old Emrakul, or the second one, not the first Numercool, the one from Innistrad or whatever. That one, someone stole my turn, and I just sat there, and then they proceeded to lose anyways. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I really like this commander. I'm very surprised I haven't seen more of it. This is phenomenal. It has more things to do than Pox, so if you're getting hosed by enchantments or artifacts, well, boom, you know. If you're getting stonewalled because you are all in on one giant creature, well, now you're no longer having that issue. I really like this commander. It might actually be my favorite green commander, or mono green commander, at least in a very long time. I did like Bristly Bill as well, I won't lie, but this just felt excellent. It felt like I'm playing my win condition that is just ramping and playing random creatures, and your opponent has to respect your random ramp creatures and ramp spells, and when you're in that position, you're sitting real well. Like, what you're doing is excellent. So I would advise this deck a lot. This is a profoundly good commander. I was surprised about how good it was, but if you have ideas to make it better, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.